Well, hello to all our viewers and welcome to Showtime. It's that time of the week again where we bring to fore some of the finest talents you never thought existed. I'm Aaron Lyngdoh. It's time to meet my guests. We'll meet the 26-year-old outdoor enthusiast, caver, white water paddler and mountaineer. The first ever Sikkimese Boxer to win a medal in the Asian Junior Boxing Championship. And brace yourselves for the Meghalaya's Formula 4 driver creating history for the Northeast. This week, it's all about sports. My first guest is the only Northeasterner selected to go to the Everest Base Camp Trek in 2014. Well, she grew up on the outdoors and was always inspired by Mother Nature. Well, in her own words, it's hard for my parents to keep me indoors. Please welcome the fearless Naomi Bakor, Kharbangar. So Naomi, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm 26 years old. I'm born and brought up in Shillong. I am a student of geography and tourism. My alma maters are St. Mary's School, St. Edmund's College, and Northeastern Hill University. I am an outdoor enthusiast. I do caving, whitewater pack rafting, and some high altitude climbs and treks.
And some call you Khon Kamaryang. Just give us a little context.
Yes, that is one of my nicknames from childhood, actually. Khon Kamaryang basically translates to a child of Mother Nature, or a child who grew up widely or freely in Mother Nature's lap. So it all started from childhood. I had a very active childhood where the outdoors sort of became my playground. I lived near a forest, and at a very tender age, I would run off with my friends to go climb trees and so on and so forth. So my parents could never keep me indoors, rain or sunshine. So my friends and I sort of became these toughened up kids by always playing outside in the forest, facing all elements of nature. Hence, we came to be called Khon Kamaryang.
All right, and you're the only Northeasterner selected to go to the Everest Base Camp Trek in 2014. Now tell us a little bit about that experience.
So I've always had a fascination with climbing the Himalayan mountains as a child, since I saw the Arunachali Himalayas from my bedroom window every winter. So I developed this dream of climbing Everest. However, not all childhood dreams are properly thought of. So, but yes, in 2014, way into my teen years, I was informed that Kingfisher Blue Mile was organizing a sponsored trip to Everest Base Camp, which was going to be documented by NDTV Good Times in the form of a reality show, and that the trials would be held all over India in the form of campouts, and that it was also going to be held in Meghalaya this time. So I jumped at that opportunity, and I got shortlisted and finally selected from the whole of Northeast. As for the experience, it was truly a dream come true, seeing the big mountains, especially the highest peak in the world, right in front of you, while being guided by record-holding mountaineer twins like Tashi and Nungshi Malik, and also coming across great like-minded people in the trip. Although I didn't climb Mount Everest. However, half of my dream came true, and that became a fueling factor to how I completely got hooked to adventure sports.
Now, you mentioned in one of your interviews that, mountains are your first love. But unfortunately, we do not have snow-capped mountains in Meghalaya. And as an outdoor enthusiast, do you feel that's some kind of a setback?
Yes, the Himalayas will always be my first love, but that does not mean you can't or shouldn't find love in other landscapes as well. So nature has created an array of beautiful landscapes for you to choose from and connect to through outdoor sports. So it shouldn't mean that you should stick to only one sport just because you live in a non-mountainous area. So in fact, Meghalaya is blessed with the most unique natural beauty in the world. So from caves to rivers to waterfalls to jungles, you name it. So there's so much to do. There's so much to do over here. So it would be ashamed if we call it a setback. Hence, since there are no high mountains in Meghalaya, I've gotten into caving and whitewater pack rafting. And that has been amazing in terms of exploring my own land and finding out new things about it.
You know, sports in general need perseverance and determination. What keeps you motivated?
So, since I am in adventure sports, the very thought of discovering a new cave, hiking, or climbing trail is itself a great motivation. Keeping physically and mentally fit on a daily basis is also a great thing, but rest is also important. So that's how I recreationally spend my time, in the outdoors, hiking, but also resting. The outdoors is like my medicine, so I have made it a custom to go hiking, caving, or paddling in the weekends. So to refresh my brain and to feel better for the rest of the week. And then I head off on yearly caving or mountain expeditions whenever I manage to save some money. I really make time for my passion.
Now, what's interesting to me is, you also climbed the Stock Kangri, which is the highest trekking peak in India, and you were the only female in the team. So what does that realization make you feel?
Sure, adventure sports was largely seen as this male dominated sport, but it isn't anymore. So women have also come forth to take part in them, and I'm happy that the numbers are growing, especially in India and the Northeast. We have a lot of female climbers, female mountaineers from the Northeast as well, and from Meghalaya. So I'm very happy with that. But when it comes to climbing a mountain, actually, there's no, let's say, gender disparity, because a mountain does not care who you are. If you're a man or a woman or rich or poor, you will succeed based on how you work hard or even your luck sometimes. For me, climbers were just a group of like-minded people who have joined hands to climb a mountain together to share experiences and memories.
Now, coming to my next question, is Meghalaya, or in fact the entire Northeast region, if you will, ready to nurture talent inclined towards, paddling, climbing, and mountaineering?
To some degree, yes. For one to be able to take part in adventure sports, one needs to undergo training. And for that, we need societies or institutes with trained and certified instructors to teach us. For mountaineering, climbing, and river rafting, we have Nimas in Arunachal, and we also have HMI in Darjeeling, which is closest to the Northeast. And we also have the Shillong Whitewater Village in Meghalaya for kayaking. Meghalaya and the Northeast, for that matter, have diverse landscapes when it comes to conducting other adventure sports like paragliding and caving. In fact, it is the perfect region to indulge in adventure sports. However, there is still very less development in terms of certified adventure sports institutes or societies that could nurture such sports or talents. They are still in the developing stage, but I hope it gets better.
So what are some of the learning experiences along the way?
So what the outdoors have taught me is to be more open-minded, to toughen myself up, to live freely, to be able to adjust with difficult circumstances, to be more acceptable and grateful, and to be ever enthusiastic and eager to learn and explore wherever you are.
Naomi, correct me if I'm wrong. The outdoor trend, I should say, is catching up. Can one make money out of it?
Outdoor isn't a trend, actually. It shouldn't be called a trend, because connecting with nature is basic human need. So everything in the end comes from Mother Nature. And since humanity itself has detached himself from the values of nature so much, getting ourselves into outdoor sports and other nature-related activities helps us realize the values of nature better. And sure, if you're talking about making money out of it, we can in terms of tourism. As we can see, it's already happening in Meghalaya and other northeastern states. We just need trained and certified outdoor guides for that. And I believe that Northeast and Meghalaya has taken a realization recently that travel and tourism does help in earning a livelihood. Hence, people are taking to it. But another concern is that we shouldn't let tourism destroy our nature. Hence, more people or guides need to be more aware of ecotourism through awareness and training.
All right, now your dream is to trek the base camp of the 14 highest peaks in the world. Now, how close or how far are you from that dream?
I don't think I'm too close or too far from the dream. However, I am moving steadily, slowly and steadily towards it, while doing a lot of other things at the same time. So at the moment, I'm thinking of pursuing further studies and looking for for a job and so on and so forth. But since the mountains are a bit too far away from where I live as well, and that involves a lot of money doing so, so I am saving so I can at least climb once or twice in 2 years. But I'm also focusing on exploring Meghalaya's caves at the moment, and soon to explore some of Nagaland's caves as well. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Now, Naomi is part of the caving in the abode of the clouds since 2019 and was in the expedition team led by Thomas Arbenz that discovered the largest subterranean fish in the world, which was documented by National Geographic photographer Robbie Shone. Naomi, thank you. Well, it's time now for a very short break. Coming up next is the 16-year-old lad from Sikkim who's done us proud with his achievement. Don't go anywhere. Well, welcome back, viewers. My next guest is the 16-year-old boy from Sikkim who has done the region proud by winning a bronze medal in the 54 kg weight category in the Asian Junior Boxing Championship recently concluded in Amman's capital, Jordan. Say hi to JAYANT DAGAR. Now, JAYANT, the first Sikkimese boxer to win a medal in the Asian Junior Boxing Championship. Now, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel happy, proud at the same moment because I was able to join the Indian team and represent India and my state in the international level. And plus, I got some experiences in their games and all. So it makes me proud to be a part of the Indian team. My feeling was both happy and sad, but mainly I was proud that I got a medal in my first attempt. So I was proud and happy.
All right. Now, the Asian Junior Championship is the first international champion in boxing which you participated. Now, did you see that coming at all?
It all started after the schools national championship in 2019, because after that, the 2 years gap was there for the COVID protocols. So we had to regularly practice in that 2 years. So after practicing for 2 years, I could say it like that I could join the Indian team for the championship because of the hard work. And I could look back at the hard work and say that, yeah, I have done that much of hard work and I could participate in the international level and do my best. So after that, we got an invitation for the camp in Rohtak. There was basically 2 people who was in my weight. So I had to spar with them to get selected for the Asian Game Championship. So from there, it all started for our Amman trip.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Basically, I'm from Sikkim and my dad is from Haryana because he's a businessman and he works out there. He has another factory, a factory outlet in West Bengal near Bagdogra. And my mom is an housewife. Basically, she stays with me and supports me in my sporting career. And in the background, I don't have a brother and sister. So basically, we are a 3-person family. And I started boxing at the age of in the year 2017 after I passed out from grade 6. Then from there, it took me 1 year to gradually grasp the concepts of the boxing theories and techniques. And after that, after 1 year, I started to get medals in the state and nationals. And from there, all my journey started for the Asian School Games Championship.
Now also, your dad, Arun Dagar, is a national level boxer. Has he been an influence for yourself to take up boxing?
Yes, sir. He has been a very huge influence for me. Like when I passed the grade six, he gave me two options to play. One was archery, and another was boxing. He kept the both of them. He bought the both equipments. One was in this hand, there was a bow, and out here are gloves. So he said, choose one of them. So basically, the boxing was in a blood only. So grabbed the gloves instantly, like even like that, and said, I'll take boxing. Then from there, I started practicing boxing. He taught me some skills and all. He said me that there are some tricks and all which we use in boxing. So he taught me that. So merely is an huge influence for me. He has supported me in every kind of way which he can.
All right, fair enough. And apart from your dad, do you have a role model that you look up to?
Yes, sir. I have a role model. His name is Mike Tyson because the way he moves, like the way he goes inside a taller opponent, like he's shot from something 1 foot or 2 foot, but still he goes like slip, weave and all, and goes for a knockout. And every match has so far has gone for a knockout. So like the moment he slip, weave with that his uppercut and hook, that's the thing I like the most. Like his movement and all, the flexibility of his punches, the hard hit and all the like the thing he goes from the liver blow to the chin blow, like that I like the most.
So tell me, what are a few things about boxing that you enjoy?
The few things that I like about boxing is that the way it gives the other person and the another person a way to fight, like a gloves and headguard, the protection and all. The way we punch the guy, we punch with both the hands, block ourselves, parry, slip and all, the uppercuts and all. The way the techniques and all they all use, like if we use right, another person will use slip, right, left hook, like that and all. Then another I like is the scoring system in which this give a score, like there are five judges, and apart from the five, three of them gives you a high score and the two of them gives to the opponent. Then the winner is you because of the three majority score. Like I am winning first and second round by the score of 9-8 or 10-9. But in the last round, by chance, I got in counting and I did some fouls, and the opponent got the score of 10-8. So basically, the opponent won the game because it's a huge game over because of this system, scoring system. And because of that, I like it the most. Like if by chance only, like we are winning the game, normally we are winning the game and all, but suddenly something happens in the last round and the opponent gets a huge boost and all, and he comes and wins around by 10-8. Automatically he's the winner because of the scoring system, and that's a huge game changer in the sports. So I like that the most.
And what has boxing taught you?
The boxing has taught me many things, but mostly it was like temper management. Like we get punched in our face and all constantly, so we have to keep our emotions set at a mild and calm emotion. So like we get hit and all, and we have mild and calm, so we can use our techniques and all, like slip, right upper, left up, slip, left up, right up. But if we are angry and lose our emotional control and we get angry, we'll just go like, yeah, I just want to hit that guy. Like we'll just go like hitting him and just leave our guard like that. But the other opponent will get the chance to take the score because our hand will be like wide open and start to hit him like that. The other opponent will keep his guard like cool, calm, and all, and just hit in the face straight like this. Every punch the opponent will throw, it will connect because if we lose our temper, we'll just go like charging, like we'll just go like that only. So another is the sportsmanship in which like I went and given liver blow to the opponent and he fell down. And after that, when the match is over, we'll just go and like hug each other and say that well played, bro. And then after that, we'll go to the coach and all and say thank you for the match and like that. That's all the sportsmanship that had taught me, and this sports has taught me a lot about it.
You know what? You're just 16, still studying. Now, how do you balance your studies and boxing so that both get their fair attention?
Uh, to give attention to both and all and to completely balance it, I have to give all the credits to my school teachers because they all supports me and understand the situation I am in. Like I'm I'm allowed to go to the practice and all for 1 month, and after that for another month I have to go to the school to study. So it basically starts and start like 1 month in boxing, another month in studies, like that. We have to continue repeat it alternately. So it goes on like that only.
Well, needless to say, you've competed in a number of competitions at the state level, the national level, and of course, the international level. Now, how do you prep and approach every match? Is there a strategy or a method?
This is not a kind of strategy and all, but it's something like a mentally preparation, because like there is a huge tournament and huge crowd and all going on. You just have to, if you feel nervous and all, you just have to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just remember your hard work sip, or any memories that you get that makes you happy. Like there is a memory that you feel very happy, and like the hard work and all they're putting and all the coach keep supporting you, the hard work which, like whenever I go for a tournament, I just close my eyes and out there I think of my hard work and all the hard work which I've done, the sweat that I've given out for the tournament and all. I just remember that, and slowly my nervousness and all goes down. Like before this interview, I was also nervous, but I just closed my eyes, took my deep breath, and just remembered the moments and all. From there, all my nervousness went down. So it basically a mental preparation. Anyone can do it. It's not a method and anything.
Now, you won the bronze medal, and I'm sure your aim was gold. What didn't work out, and what have you learned from the entire experience?
The thing that did not work out was the part from where the chest and the stomach is connected, the middle part. From there, the thing was that that particular place was weak of mine. So the opponent of Thailand took the opportunity to hit the uppercuts right in the center of the part. So because of that, I lost most of my stamina, and my legs was not moving. So from the experience that I got, I have to focus mainly on my footwork, the movement around the ring. Second, my flexibility, and third, my stomach. So these three things that I have to work mainly, because these three things are the thing that I lost in the first tournament.
So, what are other things you enjoy doing, apart from boxing?
I enjoy most of the sports. Like I like football. Before class 6, I used to play football and cricket. Then after that, sometimes we play basketball. So for the height, because basketball players have a huge height, so you have to play basketballs to get the height and all, to jump around for activeness. Like when we have rest day, because we have 6 days of practice, so we have get 1 day for active rest. In that time, we play basketball or volleyball.
And finally, young boy, what's the dream?
My dream is like to get an Olympic gold medal for India, and for that I am taking it step by step. Like right now, I completed one step of going to international level. Now from there, another step is to get a gold medal in international. So it will carry on. Like this year in August, there is another tournament coming up, Asian School Boxing Championship, in which I'm focused and will give my very best to get a gold medal. So that is another step in which I'll take another step. From there, I'll go to youth. From youth tournament, I'll go to nationals. Then from the international, then comes the world championship of youth. For that, after the world championship, I'll be very close to the Olympic step. So from there, it goes step by step, step by step, step by step.
Well, you know what? I honestly don't remember what I was doing when I was 16. Well, that's a different story altogether. Well, Jayant, DAGAR, congratulations once again. May all your dreams come true. We will take another break here, and we shall return with Meghalaya's professional race car driver defying all odds to become the first woman from the state to be selected in the Formula LGB4 team. You won't want to miss it. All right, welcome back, viewers. My next guest created history when she finished the third podium in the 23rd JK Tyre National Racing Championships 2020 that was held in Coimbatore. Now, she's regarded as the pioneer of women's motorsports in Meghalaya and represented the entire Northeast in the Indian National Rally Championships Category 4 2021. Presenting the bold and beautiful Phoebe Dale NONGRUM. Well, Phoebe, the pioneer of women's motorsports in Meghalaya, how easy or difficult was it for you to convince your parents about, your decision to pursue the dream initially?
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to actually be chatting with you. Well, coming from a small town like Shillong, our parents are always used to the fact that, you have to finish your studies, you have to get a good job. Basically, being from Shillong, government jobs are more preferable, right, for our parents, especially the fact that my parents work for the government. Of course, they look forward to me, growing up, finishing my studies, getting into a government job, like how they did. But for me, I always thought that, I think life is a little bit different than how we see it here, Though I was still very young and never had the chance to, see the world yet, of course, because, it was only time for me to go to school, study, have my playtime, the usual. But otherwise, I would always be like, hey, there's so many things you could do. You could ride a cycle, you could go skating. What if you could, make yourself perfect in those things? Or you could play ball, like you could play football, basketball, cricket, and maybe you're going to become like perfect at those and become really good at it, that you could turn them into your own jobs. So I grew up that way, thinking that I had this different mindset of thinking that you could turn anything into a career. So support wise, my parents of course were not like that happy, because they were like, no, you have to get a permanent job. This is not going to get you anywhere. I mean, I think every parent that has a son or a daughter that races would say this to them. It's racing. It's you're not going to make it out there. It's difficult. So I mean, my parents have never stopped me, but I wouldn't say that they encouraged me also, because there were days that I would go for a race and I would, the night before, I would just tell them, I'm leaving tomorrow at 5 a.m. I'm traveling to, this place. I'm going for a race. So before they could react or say no to me, by the time they get up in the morning, I'm already gone, So I would do that. And then I would just come, I would give it my best also. And then I would come back with trophies. So then they can't say anything really, they're just like, oh, okay, you went and you came back with trophies. Okay, fine, not bad, So it just kept going. So yeah, so that continued. So I think somehow they have accepted that.
Now, were you at any point concerned about, the risk involved with the sport?
Of course. I mean, I think the first day that I learned how to drive a car, I think that was when I knew that, this is not a joke. Like, there's so much risk involved in just even driving a car from one place to the other, like even normal driving on the streets, because you never know what could happen. Accidents happen all the time. It might not be your fault. It could be the other person's fault. You never know, So there is a risk, all in all, just to drive a car, basically, on normal roads. So driving a fast car is even more like a bigger risk, and of course, every time we drive, we have a race, we do have to sign these indemnity forms, that we are taking our own risk of, doing the races, and the organizers are not, they're not responsible, because we know very well what are the risks, and we are willing to go ahead and, participate in the sport. So of course there is so much risk, but then what's life without any risk? It wouldn't be fun anymore. It would be boring, right? So I think I'm just, all in all, I could say that in a way I kind of am an adrenaline junkie. I think the faster I go, the more I want to drive fast. That is on the track, not on the streets, on the normal streets, of course. Even if it's a risk, I think I'd do it all over again.
And just out of curiosity, what does it feel like to be inside a racing car? Can I listen to my favorite music when I drive?
Yeah, so I have this question to myself, sometimes like, oh, why can't I just listen to my favorite music and just go for it, But the thing is, driving a racing car, like I just said earlier, like it's a risk, So basically, I have to put everything like together. Like I have to be, I have to be aware of what's going on around my surroundings, what the other drivers are doing, which driver is chasing me, who am I chasing, how far am I behind, how many positions behind am I, how many positions ahead do I want to go, like all these things goes on in a racing driver's mind. So the music would be distracting, so as to say, firstly. And secondly, no, I cannot listen to my favorite music. But what I would do is I would definitely listen to my favorite music just before getting inside the car. So listening to your favorite track before racing helps. It helps me a lot. So yeah, that's what I would do. But unfortunately, we cannot listen to music and drive at the same time. It's I wish that we could do that.
All right, no music then. So tell us a little bit of yourself growing up.
Well, I'm just a small town girl who had like a big dream, a really big dream, which actually seemed super impossible, because I think like back then when I was growing up, being a race car driver is only for men, or basically, so as to say, it's a man's world, basically in everything, Women actually do not have the opportunity to, do what men like get to do, So for me, I grew up in Shillong. I went to school in Shillong. I did till my 12th. I was in Shillong. I finished my 12th. Then I was like, okay, I want to take a break. I want to go out and experience, because if I live in the same city, I'm not going to learn a lot. I need to shift. I need to study outside. I need to learn what it's like out there in the world. So I left for my further studies. I finished my degree. And after my degree, while I was doing my degree, I was working part-time as well. So I've worked with a lot of companies, and I just didn't want to come back home, actually. I wanted to stay back in Bangalore. But then, other things demanded for me to be home, and parents wanted me to come back as well, because I've been gone for quite a long time. Like I was in Bangalore for almost 12 years. So my parents wanted me back. So I came back. And that's when I started, okay, take a break for a year and get into racing. So basically, yeah, I'm a small town girl from Shillong, and who dreamed quite hard and didn't give up, took any opportunity that came my way, struggled quite a bit to get there, to fit in.
Now, please educate me here a little bit. What's the difference between rally racing and then formula racing?
So basically, these are two different disciplines of racing, and there are many more disciplines in racing. But speaking about formula, these are one-seater cars, firstly. These cars are built for just the driver alone. And these cars also have the engines at the back. They have pointy nose, as you've seen the Formula 1. There's a Formula 2, there's a Formula 3, then there's the Formula 4. So basically, you start with 4, and then you graduate to 1, which is a long way. So basically, formula racing is all about one person drive, and there would be technical tracks, there would be fast tracks, like depends, on which track you're driving, how they're made, and all that. So formula has laps. They take you win, or you do the race by having these laps. And in rallying, it's a little different, because rallying is a two people race. Okay, so you have a driver and you have a co-driver. So a driver drives, of course, listening to the guidance of the co-driver. So the co-driver will direct you. He will, the co-driver basically, it's a teamwork between the two, the co-driver and the driver. And these cars that are used for rallying are your normal day-to-day cars. Either you could use a stock car, which is your normal day-to-day car, or you could upgraded, like according to what is approved by the Federation of Motorsports. So rallying is more, it deals more with stages. You have different stages, and then you have something called a transport stage. So when you say transport, means you have a time limit and you have to get from one place to the other. So rally is more of a long-term race, like it takes time, and the formula racing is just about in one circuit, and it depends on how many laps you have to race for.
All right, that's fair enough. Now, as a niche domain, I'm sure there are notions surrounding it, like it's a guy thing, etc., etc. What's the worst you've come across?
To be very honest, I've not really, been in a spot where my fellow participants or competitors, my teammates have really said that, oh, you're a girl, you can't do it. They haven't been like that. But then, of course, people around, people who are not racing, people who probably would just watch and see. For that matter, I even had friends who were like telling me, what, you want to be a racer? Don't you think that's too much of a dream for a girl? And you're from Shillong, how far will you get? Look at the world, like, you have to probably be in the US or probably, in the UK to get into something like racing, But I think also for me, because people have said that, it's what made me, it's kind of a challenge for me, it's made me want to prove them wrong, Well, if you think that, we can't do it, maybe I'd go for it, give it a shot. And if I can, then I'll just be proving you wrong, So yeah, of course, when people are not used to the fact that women can do certain things, when they're so used to the fact that, oh, but this is a man's thing, a woman doesn't fit into this, I always like to prove them wrong, be it cycling, be it small things like skateboarding, be it playing basketball, playing football, now it's women have their place, but then back then they didn't, a woman playing football would be insane. Hey, what are you doing? Only a guy should kick the ball, not a girl, not a woman, So for me, it's like, oh yeah, but I have my legs, I can kick the ball. So I don't understand, why can't I play the ball, So I used to be somebody like that. I mean, I still am, I guess. And I would like, if people would say that to me, I'd be like, but if I can do it, then what's the problem? I don't see a problem. Do I have to be a guy to be able to do it? I don't get it. I'm human. A guy is human. He knows how to kick a ball. I know how to kick a ball. So where's the difference in that?
So now, what kind of support is needed for, motorsports rally to take off?
A lot of support, like, we're going to the big time support, that would be sponsorship. It would really, really help if we could get sponsorship to get us further, like sponsorship, because why I'm saying sponsorship is because by yourself, you cannot, because motorsports is expensive. You need to join a team, you need to put time in practice, you need to train yourself to become better than you were yesterday. It doesn't matter if you've got 5 podiums before this, The thing is, you will always experience something new when you're at the track, when you're racing again, you'll always learn something new again, So to become better, to perfect yourself, you need a little help. You need help as in, like, you need to train yourself as well. So you need that sponsorship. You need someone to you need funding. You need someone to help fund for your training, for you, your physical training. Then you need training with the car one-on-one, and you need to train with the car, because you need to learn how to handle the car. You need to learn other things, so I would say that since it is a very expensive sport, it's difficult to get far if there is no help, like there's no support, there's no sponsorship.
And how do you envision other girls from the Northeast follow suit?
Well, I think in general, I think that everybody has a dream. Well, if anyone from the Northeast does have a dream in racing or want to be, a race car driver, right now, there are a lot of opportunities for women in racing, they just need to if they're interested, they need to, find women racers. Example, like either find me or find other women racers in India, get in touch with them. I personally have had a lot of women who have approached me and asked me for advice. How do we get into racing? The best I could do is guide them to an event. There will be a racing event at your city, so and so. Just get in touch with the organizers and, take it from there. What I would say is for the Northeast girls is if they are interested in racing, I mean, then they should try to get in touch with all these women who are racing, or get in touch with me. I would definitely love to see women racers from Northeast. It would be super amazing.
Now, Phoebe, what are a few things that, the sport has taught you?
Well, the first most important thing that it's taught me is discipline. You have to have discipline. Discipline in lifestyle, discipline in eating, discipline in working out or training yourself, your body, So discipline is very important. If you're disciplined enough, you will reach your goal.
All right, and that brings me to my last question. Any race lined up anytime soon?
Yeah, so this is a new year. So every year there's different seasons happening. I mean, different years have different seasons. So of course, 2022 season is there. Rallying season is there. Formula season is there. But let's see, even to, get to participate in these seasons, you would need like sponsorship. You would need a sponsor. So every time a new season start, I would have to work hard on it. I would have to find a sponsor. I would have to find help funding, so that I could like participate, right? So there will be these events coming up soon. I'm sure the racing calendar will be out soon for 2022. And yes, I'll be working my way towards the 2022 seasons, and let's see how it would go about for me.
Well, you know what? Life sure does have different plans for Phoebe, and she's scripting it like a pro. But more importantly, the way she wanted it to. Phoebe, we can all feel the adrenaline rush. Thank you. Now, this is why we do this show, to find gems like them. They've gone way past the obvious, they persevere, and more importantly, they dare dream with their eyes open. Once again, a big shout out to all my guests for being on the show this week. You're watching Showtime. I'm Aaron Lyngdoh. Until next Sunday, take care.